Tonight, as the room grows quiet and the noise of the day slowly fades, perhaps a question has been resting somewhere deep inside your heart. Are the best days of my life already behind me? Maybe retirement did not bring the peace you once imagined. Maybe the children you poured your life into are busy with lives of their own. Perhaps certain dreams never unfolded. Certain prayers still feel unanswered. And certain doors quietly closed before you were ready to let them go. And now, in the stillness of the night, you may sometimes wonder whether anything beautiful is still waiting for you. Perhaps you would never say that aloud. You have learned to be grateful. You have learned to keep going. You have smiled, encouraged others, and carried disappointment with dignity. But God sees beneath the smile. He knows the small ache that rises when you remember what you hoped life would become. He knows the fear that time is moving quickly. He knows the quiet sadness of wondering whether your most meaningful moments have already passed. And tonight, Jesus is not ashamed of that question. He is not disappointed in you for feeling tired or uncertain. He simply draws near, because the God who carried you through every changing season has not forgotten your name, your prayers, or the desires you placed in His hands. Your age has not placed you beyond His purpose. Your waiting has not made His promises disappear. And before you decide that your finest days are behind you, listen carefully to what Jesus has always known about your life. Jesus understands the quiet weight of waiting. He understands what it feels like to walk through days that seem ordinary, while the heart carries questions no one else can see. He knows the ache of rejection. He knows the loneliness of being misunderstood. He knows what it means to remain faithful when the harvest has not yet appeared. And perhaps that is why His presence feels especially gentle tonight. Imagine Him walking beside you through the simple places of your life, through the quiet kitchen in the morning, through the afternoon when the house feels still, through the evening when memories become louder and the future feels uncertain. He is not present only in great miracles or dramatic moments. He is near in the ordinary hours too. Near when you fold the laundry, near when you sit beside an empty chair, near when you look at an old photograph and feel both gratitude and sadness, near when you wonder whether anyone truly understands how much you have carried. Jesus does. He sees the years you gave to others. He sees the prayers you continued praying, even when answers seemed delayed. He sees the strength it took to keep moving through disappointment without becoming bitter. And He does not look at your waiting as wasted time. He sees faithfulness. He sees courage. He sees a heart that kept loving, even when life did not unfold as expected. So tonight, you do not have to explain every feeling. You do not have to make your sadness sound reasonable. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine. You may simply rest in the comfort of being fully known, because Jesus knows your heart so completely. He also sees the wounds you rarely speak about. Some wounds become so familiar that we stop calling them wounds. We simply learn to live around them. Perhaps there was a relationship that never healed the way you hoped, a prayer you carried for years without seeing the answer you expected, a financial loss that changed more than your bank account, a missed opportunity that still returns to your thoughts in quiet moments. Maybe retirement brought more loneliness than freedom. Maybe grief still visits without warning, arriving through a familiar song, an old photograph, or the silence of an empty room. And perhaps there are moments you still blame yourself for, words you wish you had spoken differently, choices you continue to question, seasons when you believe you should have been wiser, stronger, or more prepared. But tonight, you do not have to defend those tender places. You do not have to compare your pain with anyone else's. You do not have to explain why something from long ago can still hurt today. Jesus already understands. He is close to the brokenhearted. He remembers every tear, including the ones you quickly wiped away before anyone noticed. He knows how often you said, "I'm all right," because you did not want to burden the people you loved. And even now, He does not rush your healing. He simply sits with you in the quiet, patient, compassionate, untroubled by the parts of your story that still feel unfinished. Perhaps the softest kind of healing begins when you no longer have to hide, when you allow yourself to be seen without pretending to be strong, And as hidden pain is gently brought into God's loving light, the fear begins to loosen its hold upon your heart. And perhaps beneath some of that hidden pain, there has also been fear. Fear about your health, fear about money, fear about needing help someday, fear that your children or grandchildren may face hardships you cannot prevent, fear of living alone, fear of becoming a burden, fear of waking tomorrow to something you do not feel prepared to face. These worries may not always speak loudly. Sometimes they arrive as a tightness in the chest, a restless thought after midnight, a question that returns when the house is quiet and there is nothing left to distract you. But tonight, you do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Worry has never been able to hold your future safely. God's hands already do. Imagine each anxious thought as a small stone resting in your palm. One stone for your health, one for your family, one for your finances, one for the unknown. You have held them for so long that your hands have grown tired. And now Jesus gently reaches toward you, not demanding that you stop caring, not asking you to become indifferent, only inviting you to let him carry what love has made too heavy. You may place those stones into his hands, slowly, without hurry, without shame. He is not overwhelmed by what overwhelms you. He is not uncertain about what comes next. He already stands in the tomorrow you cannot yet see. And as your breathing softens, perhaps you can whisper within your heart, Jesus, I give you what I cannot control. Once fear is released, even a little, the heart becomes ready to place every remaining burden into his loving hands. And perhaps there are burdens deeper than fear, regrets you have carried quietly, dreams that remain unfinished, pain in your body that has made ordinary days feel harder, disappointment over the ways aging has changed what once seemed simple, the fear that others may move forward while you are slowly forgotten. Tonight, Jesus does not ask you to solve any of these things. He does not ask you to explain why they became so heavy. He simply invites you to place them into his hands. Imagine offering him the regret that returns when the night grows quiet, the dream you once believed would surely come true, the concern you carry for someone you love, the sadness of no longer being able to do everything you once did, the ache of wondering whether your life still holds purpose. Let them go, not because they do not matter, but because they matter too much to be carried alone. Jesus receives each burden with tenderness. He does not hurry you. He does not criticize your weakness. He does not turn away from your tears. He simply holds what has exhausted you, and perhaps, for the first time in a long while, your hands can begin to rest. You do not have to fix the future tonight. You do not have to force an answer. You do not have to prove that you are still strong. You may simply lean into the one whose strength has never failed. And as your hands loosen their grip on every burden, they become open enough to receive the promises God has been quietly holding for you. And perhaps one of the promises God wants to place into your open hands tonight is this: your life is not finished simply because you have reached a quieter season. God has never measured purpose by age. Abraham was old when the promise began to unfold. Sarah had already laughed at the impossibility before she held the answer in her arms. Caleb still believed there was strength left for the mountain ahead. Simeon waited through many ordinary years before finally seeing the Messiah. Anna remained faithful in worship until the promise she had longed for stood before her eyes. God's calendar has always looked different from ours. What seems delayed to us may still be unfolding with perfect care. What appears forgotten may simply be waiting for the right season. What feels impossible may already be moving toward you in ways you cannot yet see. Perhaps you have been looking backward because the future has felt uncertain, but Jesus gently turns your heart toward hope. Not hurried hope, not shallow optimism, a quieter hope, the kind that rests in God's character even before circumstances change. The one who began a good work in you has not walked away from it. He has not abandoned the dreams that still belong within his will. He has not overlooked the faithfulness of all these years. There may still be conversations that bring healing. There may still be relationships restored. There may still be laughter in rooms that have felt empty. There may still be new purpose, unexpected kindness, and blessings arriving through doors you never thought to watch. And as hope quietly returns, Even the memories behind you may begin to look different through the faithful love of God. Perhaps some memories still carry a quiet sting, words spoken in anger, a dream that ended before you were ready, a season when you felt you had failed, a family conflict that changed the warmth of familiar relationships, moments you have revisited again and again, wondering whether you should have done something differently. Tonight, Jesus does not ask you to erase those memories. He does not ask you to pretend they no longer matter. He simply enters them with you. Imagine him standing beside the version of you who was hurting then, the one who felt confused, the one who was disappointed, the one who blamed himself or herself for not knowing what to do. Jesus looks upon that younger heart with compassion, not accusation, not disappointment, only mercy. And perhaps he gently reminds you that you were carrying more than anyone realized. You were making decisions with the strength, wisdom, and understanding you had at the time. You were human, you were tired, you were trying, and grace was present even there. What happened may still be painful, but it no longer has to define the rest of your story. God can bring wisdom from regret, tenderness from loss, humility from failure, and peace into places that once felt impossible to revisit. He can restore years in ways that do not always look like returning to the past. Sometimes restoration comes as freedom, sometimes as forgiveness, sometimes as a new beginning you never expected. And as your heart begins to soften toward your own story, peace slowly moves beyond the soul and into every quiet corner of your home. And perhaps, as you notice the stillness around you, your home begins to feel different. The bedroom where you will soon rest, the hallway holding years of footsteps, the living room filled with familiar furniture, family photographs, quiet memories, and the gentle signs of a life faithfully lived. Whether you share this home with others or sleep beneath its roof alone, you are not alone tonight. God's presence is here. Imagine his peace settling softly over every room, over the places where laughter once felt easy, over the spaces where difficult conversations happened, over the chair that now sits empty, over the table where you have prayed, worried, remembered, and waited. Nothing in this home is hidden from him. Not the concerns resting on the nightstand, not the loneliness that sometimes enters after dark, not the sounds that awaken you in the night. His care surrounds you like a quiet shelter. The bedroom becomes a sanctuary. The darkness no longer feels empty. The silence no longer feels threatening. You do not need to remain watchful. You do not need to listen for every possible problem. The Lord who kept you through all the nights behind you is keeping you now. Let his peace rest over the doors and windows, over your loved ones, wherever they may be, over your body, your memories, and the dreams still held within your heart. And as the house becomes still beneath God's gentle care, your own heart is finally ready to rest without fear. You have not been forgotten, not in the years that passed too quickly, not in the prayers that seemed unanswered, not in the seasons when life became quieter than you expected. God still sees tomorrow. He still knows the chapters you have not yet lived. He still delights in bringing grace through unexpected conversations, new friendships, restored relationships, and small moments of joy that arrive without warning. Perhaps the greatest blessing of your life is not behind you. Perhaps it is simply arriving according to a timing more loving than you can yet understand. You do not need to know what it will look like tonight. You do not need to search for signs or force open any door. You may rest in the quiet assurance that God is still working where your eyes cannot see. His mercies will be waiting when morning comes, fresh, gentle, enough for whatever the new day brings. And even now, as your eyes begin to feel heavier, you can let tomorrow remain in his care. Your story is not over. Your purpose has not expired. Your prayers have not been misplaced. The God who carried you through every sorrow has not run out of goodness. There is still love to receive, still peace to discover, still meaning to live, still beauty prepared for days you have not yet reached. So let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts become softer. You are safe in this moment. You are remembered. You are deeply loved. And before your eyes grow heavy, let us place this night completely into God's loving hands. Dear Jesus, thank you for meeting me here tonight. Thank you for every blessing I noticed today, and for every kindness I did not see. Thank you for protecting me in quiet ways. Thank you for carrying me through moments that felt heavier than anyone knew. Tonight, I place this day into your hands. I give you my failures. I give you my regrets. I give you the words I wish I could take back and the moments I wish I could change. Cover them with grace. Teach my heart to rest in forgiveness. I place my loved ones before you. Watch over my children. Hold my grandchildren. Comfort those who are hurting. Guide those who feel lost. Protect those I cannot reach tonight. And Jesus, I place my future into your care. Every unanswered prayer, every unfinished dream, every promise still waiting, every blessing I cannot yet imagine. Help me remember that I am not forgotten. My story is not over. You are still working, even now, even here, even while I sleep, when fear whispers that my finest days are behind me. Remind me that your goodness is not limited by time. When loneliness enters the room, remind me that you are near. When old pain returns, hold my heart gently. When tomorrow feels uncertain, help me trust the shepherd who already knows the way. Let your peace settle over this home, over every room, over every door and window, over this bed, over my body, over my thoughts. Let my breathing become slow. Let my shoulders soften. Let every burden become lighter in your presence. Thank you for the mercies that will be new in the morning. Thank you for the love still ahead. Thank you for the purpose that remains. Thank you for every blessing already moving toward me according to your perfect wisdom. Now I release the need to understand. I release the need to control. I release the need to stay awake and carry tomorrow. I am safe with you. I am remembered by you. I am held by you. In peace. I close my eyes. In peace. I release this night. In peace. I rest beneath your faithful care. Amen. Sleep peacefully tonight. Dear friend, the God who has carried you this far is already preparing blessings that tomorrow cannot yet reveal. You are deeply loved, completely remembered, and safely held in his everlasting arms.